like it was in trade on Friday as well. But let's put the focus on the big story that we've been tracking today, and the big story, of course, continues to be the market concerns around the long-term capital gains tax. The Central Bureau of Direct Taxes has put out key clarifications on its website, including the fact that investors will not have the benefit of inflation indexation. Let's get some more clarity on these key questions. We're joined now by Muralidhar Swaminathan, Channel Director. We're also joined by Riaz Thingna of Grant Thornton Advisory. First, Murli, over to you. Give us a sense of what these clarifications really imply for investors.
Yeah, see, of the clarifications that have come, most of them are well known, but the most important being there will be no indexation benefit on this. I think it will be good to get an expert here. We have Riaz with us. Riaz, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Can you throw some more light on this indexation benefit, which the Finance Ministry has clarified that it will not be available?
Yes, so with the change that has been proposed, what happens is that up to 31st March, the exemption of capital gains will continue. With effect from 1st April, you will have the grandfathering clause kick in. That means the cost will be taken as the fair market value as on 31st January. And the capital gains will be calculated thereafter, considering the cost as on 31st January as the cost of acquisition. The big change, therefore, is going to be that we've always had the adjustment of cost with the inflation index. So as a result of which, if the cost was 100 and you sold it 10 years later, the inflation index of 10 years was then considered, and then the adjusted cost was maybe, say, 170. And you paid capital gains on the sales proceeds less the index cost of acquisition. Now that will no longer be available, and therefore the capital gains will be calculated based on the total gain, that is the sale price minus the cost of acquisition, or the cost as on 31st January as is applicable. Right.
So for instance, if somebody has put in money in a long-term equity fund with, say, an objective of creating, say, a fund for specific purpose like children's education or whatever the case may be, a 10-year equity fund will not have any indexation benefit, so they have to simply pay on the basis of the cost minus the market value.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there will be a big impact on the net returns for such long-term investments.
So therefore, there is what will be the but this is available for other asset classes, right? We have this for fixed income instruments as well as for real estate.
Yes, so the changes have been proposed now in the case of listed securities. So there have been no changes on the real estate part of it, so there the benefit will continue.
Right. There is one more question which is answered in this clarification issued by the CBDT. It says, what are the modes of acquisition of equity shares which are proposed to be exempted from the condition of payment of STT? Is this the same thing that continues? Can you please clarify for the benefit of our retail viewers?
From the first reading, I do not see any change, and it is exactly the same position that will continue as far as STT is concerned.
Right, STT will continue. On the issue of short-term capital gains, if I'm not wrong, in short-term capital gains you have the benefit of carrying forward losses. Will there be any such thing for long-term capital gains also now that the taxation is at 10%?
Yes, one of the clarifications clearly says that long-term capital losses will be allowed to be carried forward for a period of 8 years, and that will be set off against long-term capital gains. So that is, to some extent, a little relief for the investor.
Yeah, okay. So overall, the tax incentive or planning basis the tax between different asset classes is gone, right?
The arbitrage difference is definitely become very, very small now. So really that differential is gone, and maybe the difference between long-term and short-term is almost zero now.
Right. And as far as the FIIs are concerned, all the rules apply to them as well.
Absolutely.
So including grandfathering as on Jan 31.
Absolutely, that has been clarified.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Riaz, so much for coming and clarifying all these points for the benefit of our retail viewers. Let me hand it back to you, Nivrita. So it's very clear that the